Namaste. I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger, and I am going to teach you Malkauns today. Start out by playing a little bit of Malkauns. Namaste, Jignesh. Good to see you here after a long time. And welcome, Suman and Arun. Go ahead, chat in. Is my sound quality coming through? Is everything coming through? Because I can't tell from this end. I'm going to be teaching Malkauns. Go ahead, chat in. Have you learned Malkauns before? And any questions that you have. All right, T.O. Saludos. All right, I'm going to keep playing a little bit more alap in Malkauns, and then my plan is to explain the scale and teach you some important exercises, and then teach a composition, and if we have time, maybe some tips on improvising in raag Malkauns. Namaste, I'm Rutha and Yvonne. How's it going, Yvonne? All right, thanks everyone for being here. Chat in where in the world you are. If you have not done that, go ahead and click that like button too. That would help out get the YouTube algorithm putting this video out to some other Bansuri players. I'm going to keep playing some Malkauns a lot. Alright, welcome everyone who just joined in. Hello to Shar. I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger, playing Malkauns, one of the oldest melodies known, thousands of years old. I'm going to go ahead and teach you the scale. So Malkauns is a pentatonic raga, 5 notes. And those notes are, we start with sa, as we do on most ragas. 3 holes closed, sa, komal ga. Alright, a partially closed hole, komal ga. Shudma, another partially closed hole. Komal da, another partially closed hole. Komal ni, another partially closed hole. Alright, so not the easiest fingering of any raga. And then high sa. So once again, that's sa, komal ga, shudma, komal da, komal ni, high sa. And on the descent, the avarohi, the descent, just the reverse. High sa, and then komal ni, komal da, shudma, komal ga, sa. Alright, once again, sa ga ma da ni sa. Going up, sa ni da ma ga sa. Coming down. Because we do not have any pa in this raga, we set our tambura to shudma because we do have a shudma. And shudma is vadi, the most important note in the raga. Right? Ma, vadi. Sa, samvadi, second most important note. We do have a lot of freedom to play whatever note we want in this raga, but definitely remember ma is the vadi, and ma is where you put the first string of the tambura. And as such, you can see that if it focuses, ma, sorry, it will not focus. Okay, there it is. Ma is where I have that tambura set to. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And before I do that, see if any questions have come through here. All right, we do have a question. So before I share my screen, Tushar wants to know, how did I play the high sa when coming down? I'm assuming that you are referring to the ornament that I put on it, because the first time I played the arohi, avarohi, the ascending scale, descending scale, I did it with no ornaments. Second time I put ornaments on. So here it is with no ornaments. And here it is with ornaments. Of course, I can change the ornaments. I don't have to do it the same way, but as I recall, when I did it before, on the way up, I played gummicks from above. So that high sa to end the ascent was a komal ga sa, right? A gummick from komal sa. But on the descent, the way I did it before, I played a gummick from below, da sa. And then I did gummicks from above. Da sa, ga ni, sa da, ni ma, da ga, ma sa. But you can ornament or not ornament the high sa however you want to do it. Okay, I could have gone gasa, nisa, dasa, masa from that ma if I want. Gasa nisa, a morki, gasa nisa. Gasanisa, Gasanisa, Gasanisa. Alright, hope that answers your question. Any questions, send them in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here we go. Alright, raag Malkauns, some Teental exercises. Let's start out with the most basic exercise that I ever play in any pentatonic raga, and that is to turn it into something that can easily be played in 8 beats or 16 beats, as is the case with Teental 16-beat rhythm. 8 beats up, 8 beats down. Instead of going from sa to high sa, we're going to start 1 note below sa. That's low ni in this case, and we're going to go 1 note above high sa, which in our case is high komal ga. Okay, so ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga. Sa ni da ma ga sa ni sa. Okay, just the descent and then add on the ni sa at the end to make it into 8 beats. Sa ni da ma ga sa ni sa. Teental is a cycle. It keeps going whether we want to stop or not. It's going to keep on going, so don't stop. Take a breath wherever you want. If you can play the whole line, play the whole line, take a breath at the end. If you want to take a breath at the halfway point, at Kali, right before the descent, do that. But if you need to breathe anywhere else, go ahead and breathe wherever you need to breathe. Try not to always breathe in the same place. And whatever it is, keep on playing it over and over. These are not meant to be played once or from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Pick one of them and play it over and over and over. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to play it at 1 note per beat. I've got Teental set at 178 beats per minute. You can make it slower, you can make it faster. But I've got it 178. I have my tambura set at F plus 8 cents. 3 holes closed, F plus 8 cents. That's where I'm set at currently. Here we go. Go ahead, chat in if my tabla is loud enough, or if you want me to turn up the volume of the tabla. And before I get going, to answer one more question about the gummick while someone tells me if my tabla is loud enough. Is gummick not only from top down? Gummick is everywhere and anywhere that you want it to be. Gummick, to quote Hari Prasad Chaurasia, is the most important sound in Indian classical music, period. Okay, so for me, it's rare that I would ever go more than 10 or 15 seconds without playing a gummick. And I'm probably playing a lot more gummicks than just that. So, gummick is just one type of ornament. For me, it's the simplest type of ornament. That's why I spent a lot of time teaching it. For me, any ornament is better than no ornament, unless you purposely want to have no ornament. Alright, so I'm told the volume is good, so here we go. Number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum. 2. Kali. 3. Sum. 2. Kali. 3. However you want to count it. Most important thing is it's 4 sets of 4s, 16 total beats. Sum. I'm going to start on the next sum. That was all with gummicks. Maybe that's a lot faster than you can play. Slow it down if you want. Now I'm going to play without gummicks. Maybe that'll make it a little bit easier on your ears. Komol Da, I almost always play it like this, okay? That part of the hole open towards the end of the flute. Sometimes I play it like that. You may play it either way, okay? Usually I play it like this, just to let you know. Sometimes for certain reasons and certain ragas I'd play it like this. But right now I'm playing it like that. All my Komol notes, if you're curious about Komol, me personally, it's the part of the hole towards the end of the flute that is open. Whereas some people would play it like that, the part of the hole facing the audience open. But I play them like that. You'll see the note I have right here. It says leave out the Komol Ga on beat 8 if you want. This is beat 8. That's the Komol Ga. What's that mean, leave it out? It means just put a pause there. End it at high saw makes sense. It is essentially, we're just essentially playing an Arohi Avarohi, just converted into 16 beats. So let's leave out that Komol Ga and just breathe there. It's a perfect place to take a breath. So now I'm going to do it without that Komol Ga at the top. All right, a little bit of tonguing, a little bit of gummick all together there. Now, one other thing is that note goes for the first 4 of these, because really the first 4 of these are all related. All I've done is change the descent. Okay, the 8 beats up is the same in the first 4 of these exercises. So in any of these, if we want, go ahead and leave out that Komol Ga for beat 8. Just take a breath. Or you don't even need to take a breath, but you need to hold the high saw for 2 beats. All right. Let's check if there's any questions. No more questions. I'm assuming you're understanding it. Let's keep on going. Now, one other thing I'm going to do. I'll move on to number 2. But instead of playing it at 178 beats per minute, I'm just going to hit the half speed, the X over 2 button, cut my speed in half. Now it's at 89 beats per minute. Madhyalaya Teental versus Drut Teental. Drut Teental is fast like it was before. Now it's Madhyalaya. So if you want to practice these slow, because you can't play them fast, or if you just want to play it slower, then go ahead and do it. So here it is at half the speed I was playing before. Now we're at 89 beats per minute. Kali. So number 2, very similar to number 1. And you heard it a couple times with the Komol Ga at the top and a couple times without. I'm going to move on to number 3. I'm going to go ahead and put this back at, well, I'll leave it at this speed for number 3, and then I'm going to switch back to Drut Fast Teental. Number 3. back to Drut, and I'm going to move on to number 4. All right, so this one again, just it's the descent that changes. Nisa gama dani saga sani dama gama gasa. Let's move on to number 5. So this one, different than the others. Others were get us warmed up. All right, so now we're going to start from Komoga. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So each of these exercises, just play it on repeat. Keep going as long as you can. Take a breath if you need to take a breath, wherever you need to take that breath, and try to keep on playing. See if you can play it for a full minute or 2 minutes. Number 6. Alright, I was switching those up a bit, 5 and 6. Coming back to just number 6. Again, if you want to play these half the speed, go for it. All right, let's do number 7. If you're playing that slow, ideally you should be putting gummicks on the notes, or the ornament of your choice. If you can't, that's fine. I'm going to speed it up again. 1, 2. Number 7. if you want to play double speed because you can, do it, and it'll be 2 per cycle. You'll play it twice to fit into 1 cycle. A tongue. There I played at half the speed. So you can switch between single speed, double speed, half speed. Practice changing your speed by doubling and halving. Alright, so that was number 7. We're going to move on to number 8. And if you have questions or requests, send them in. If you haven't chatted and where in the world you're at, which is most of you, go ahead and do that. Okay, I'll chat. I am coming at you from Rio de Janeiro. Alright, where are you at? I'm going to keep going. Number 8. Some. Kali. 4 plus 4. How do you show the fact that it's 4 plus 4? You accent on the beat on the first of each 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Vary them if you want, if you know how, if you're able to. You can vary the rhythm, you can tongue, not tongue. Number 9, starting up at high ma. And we have arrived at number 10. Now, something that I want to make clear, I've called these exercises because right here we're just using them as exercises to get us used to the scale. But these are real lines of music. We could easily put these into any Teental performance. Okay? You can even take them, you can put them into other tals, just knowing that you have to make them fit into that tal. So say if you had Jup tal and you were trying to play 10 beats and you played one of these at double speed, or say it came out to 8 beats because it's Teental, then you'd need to fill in the last 2 beats to bring it to 10 to make a Jup tal. But you can take these lines of music and put them in anywhere. You can even put them into your alap if you want. No rhythm, but the flow of the notes, the melody would remain the same. So let's go ahead, and before I play this last one, all right, Abhimanyu, thank you, likes the double speed. All right, Chuck, welcome from Santa Cruz. Premlal, how's it going? Where are you? Tushar and Bengaluru. And Abhimanyu, Gujarat. All right. Here we go, number 10, Malkauns. I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger. I do teach lessons every single week for Bansuri Bliss members. Become a Bansuri Bliss member. Get access to my weekly lessons every single week, teaching Bansuri online, and also hundreds of lessons that I have created and put into Bansuri Bliss Academy that you can access 24/7, 365 days per year. Learn on your own, learn in lessons like these, and even send in all the questions that you have to our chat room Bansuri Bliss Discord server. You can ask unlimited questions about ragas and Bansuri, and I will answer them. So become a Bansuri Bliss member if you are dedicated to Bansuri. Here we go, number 10. That's it for that page of music. All right, so before I go on to this composition, if you have any questions, chat them in. If my sound quality is still coming through clear, let me know. If you want anything turned up or turned down, let me know. And this is Malkauns, one of the most famous ragas, melody from North India, one of the oldest known ragas, several thousand years old. Hey, we're on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the Bansuri Bliss YouTube channel, please do subscribe. All right, Tushar liked it. All right, Tushar, if you practice all of this, then your Malkauns will sound great too. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's learn. A Teental composition taught to me by my guru, Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao, many years ago. And I believe that Bismillah Khan, Ustad Bismillah Khan, one of my all-time favorite musicians, plays this composition as well. So perhaps you can find that. This is an old composition. All right, so we're going to start on some. All our lines of this composition start at some. As you can see here, we have an astai, the first half of the composition, and an antra, the second half of the composition. I've put a horizontal line between the two, so it's easy to tell which is which. So the first two lines are the astai. The first line is the gut, the most important line of the composition. The gut gets repeated a lot. That's why I have these two vertical bars before and after the first line with the two dots. Comes from Western music. That means repeat what's inside. So we always play the gut a lot in any composition. The second line is the manja. The manja, generally speaking, brings us to the low notes of the composition. So we play those two lines as the astai. When we finish the second line, we don't keep going down to the antra. we return to the gut, the first line of the astai. And we can play that and then go to the antra, or we can improvise and then go to the antra, or we can improvise and then return to the gut and go to the antra. But whatever you do, don't go straight from the manja, the second line of the astai, into the antra. Always return to the gut. All right, so we have 2 lines for the astai, 4 lines for the antra, and let's see, I have the arohi, avarohi written down here in case you missed it before. So that's the ascending scale and descending scale. And what's going on with all this written music, I'll go ahead and explain it. The plus sign means sum. That just signifies this is the first beat of the rhythmic cycle. Da din din da, da din din da, da tin tin da, da din din da, da. Okay, sum, plus sign. So we start right on that da din din da, right on the first beat of the rhythmic cycle. And the little circle here means that's the 9th beat. That's the halfway point. That's Kali, which is the 9th beat of our Teental rhythmic cycle. Da din din da, da din din da. That right there, you wave. Tabla player, that comes from tabla language. Da din din da, da din din da, da tin tin ta, ta din din da. That means it's the 9th beat. We've got vertical bars separating the 4 sets of 4. Okay, we've got semicircles underneath any notes that go at double speed to show whenever there's 2 notes above the semicircle, it means that each of those notes is only half a beat long, meaning we're playing at double speed, 2 notes per beat. If we have a underline like that, it means there's no new note put there. It's like a pause or a continuation of the note before, or a time to breathe. All right, so that pretty much explains it almost. We've got lines under the ga and under the da and under the ni to signify that they're comal. And we've got a dot over the high sa to signify that it's a high sa versus normal sa. All right, and then this bar where I say right here, connect. All right, it's not a bar. I don't know what it's called. It's an arc, and it's just saying, don't breathe. You can sometimes, but usually you connect. It flows from the sa into the da, ideally without you breaking it with a breath. All right, that's all we need to know to read this music. Pretty much sums up everything on this page. If you have questions about how to read the music on this page, then let me know. One other thing, 6 + 6 + 4 and the commas. That's saying we've got 16 beats. It's Teental, 16-beat rhythm. 6 + 6 + 4 = 16. The phrasing of it is 6 beats + 6 beats + 4 beats, and I've shown that with the commas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a comma, just like you'd use in English language when you're writing, to show that that is one thought, and now here's another thought. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma, and then 4 to end it. All right, you don't necessarily have to think about it that way, but usually that's how I'm going to think about this line. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, samaga, gadama, manida, dani, sa. That's how it starts, okay? Because we're going double speed. Samaga, samaga, gadama, manida, dani, sa, da, ni, da, ma, ga, sa. The second half of the line, off beat, okay? Da, ni, da, ma, ga, sa. Here we go. So one of my most important and probably underwatched YouTube videos is called How to Play 2 Notes in a Row on the Bansuri. I mean 2 notes, 2 of the same notes in a row, which we have happening right here. You'll see at the end of the line we have a sa, and at the start of the line we have a sa. So if you're repeating it, you've got 2 saws in a row. Here you have a ga, and here you have a ga. 2 gas in a row. a ma and then a ma, 2 mas in a row, a da and then a da, 2 das in a row. So I encourage everyone to go watch that video, how to play 2 notes in a row on the Bansuri. I'm going to sum it up for you right here. Most of the time I'm going to be using my tongue, 2. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to make the motion of 2, like the number 2, written T-O-O is how I write it in this case. Samaga gadama. So not on the first of the notes, but on the second of the notes. I need to break the notes, and I do that with my tongue. Samaga gadama. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2. All right, a couple more times. So that's the mantra right there. Maga ni sa sa, maga ni sa sa. Once low and once high. And then drop down to the low, ni ni sa. Again, we've got 2 notes in a row. All right, sa and then sa. But this time I'm not going to use my tongue, because tongue, in some sense, implies the start of a new phrase. But magani sa sa, it goes together. The sa sa is just a 1, 2, 3. The second sa is the same phrase as the first sa. So I'm just going to use a gummick. All right, sa ni sa. I can just tap that knee. Como ni, tap it to break the 2 saws. Samagama gada mada mani dani dani sa. All right, a little variation. Samagama gada mada mani dani dani sa. Sounds complex, but it's not. All we're going to do is fill these blank spaces here. Samagama gada mada mani dani. All right, so this, whatever is this central note of each set, repeat it then. Samagama. Say it slowly. Samagama gada mada mani dani dani sa da ni dama gas. Those last 2 improvisations were straight from our list of exercises. the number 2 and number 3. I just insert double speed as 8-beat tones. Play the first half of the composition, and then at Kali, make up your own 8 beats at double speed, means 16 notes. Play 8 beats of the composition, then 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 sum. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 sum. Let's move on to the Antra. And let's see what questions we have. You did something on the Dani Pai Sa in the gut that sounded very nice and different. It's probably the way I was ornamenting it. Dani Sa, correct. Dani Sa. Alright, so Samaga Gadama. Let's turn this off and just do it in slow motion. So one thing I have not talked about much in this composition is ornamentation, because first, unless you're really good with ornaments, you need to first work on perfecting the composition in its most basic form. After that, you can work on the ornaments. So the question refers to this Dani Sa right here. Samaga Gadama Manida Dani Sa. Right, so how can we ornament that? Da sa ni gasani sa. All right, so it's a gummic on the knee and then a morki on the sa. Instead of dani sa, da sa ni gasani sa. Da sa ni gasani sa. And then really from the sa down to the da, you could go up to the komo ga to fall down to the komo da. Hi. All right, my connection went out. If I am back here and you can hear me, can you chat in that I am now audible once again? Can you hear me? Am I back here? I'm going to play a little bit of Malkauns until somebody tells me that I'm back. I'm going to type it in. Am I back? All right, I'm back. So I'm not sure how much you heard. Maybe Tushar, you can tell me. Was my explanation of the Dani Sa, Da Sani Gasani Sa, did that come through clear? Last thing I recall saying was the gummicks on the Ni Da Maga Sa to descend. Okay, here we go. One more time. I'll just go ahead and... Instead of Dani Sa straight, go Da Sani Gasani Sa. And then Da ni sa da. I can just go sa da, but I can go sa ga da. All right, you can come up to go down to the kamoga as the ornament on the da. And then sa ni sa da ni ma da ga ma sa. So, samaga ni sa sa for the manja. Samaga ni sa. Samaga ni sa sa. I can morki the second of the sa's. And for the very first ma, I can come from da. I could come from lo. Sorry, I can come from sama, nima, dama. Or I can morky either of the sa's. Gasani sa, or just one of them, either the first or the second if I want. Samaga ni sa sa, damaga ni sa sa for up high. And then from the sa dropping down to the low ni ni sa. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. Let me know, do you prefer the screen shared and then I'm just small up in the corner, or do you like it so you can see my flute really well with full screen? From right there, from Magani Sa up high, dropping down to low ni, I could come all the way up to that high Komoga to drop down to the low Komo ni. Alright, I specifically remember my guru Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao teaching me that ornament, and that's why I pass it on to you. Alright, I'm going to share my screen and get back to teaching this composition. Thanks everyone for being here. Alright, let's go ahead and share this, and here we go. Entra. Entra is the second half of the composition. It brings us to the high notes. So our entra, in this case, usually we have the first line that gets repeated, but here it's two lines that go together, and that's why they're enclosed in these repeating bars, the two vertical bars with the dots inside. It's saying play the two lines together. The first time that I come to the high saw in an entra, generally speaking, not just me, most musicians, you'll hold the high saw a long time. Improvise a little bit if you want, then return to the gut. Sorry, not the gut. The first line of the entra. And then play the whole thing, the whole two lines through if you want. And then vary them, improvise on them, whatever you want to do. But the first time when you come to that high saw, hold it. That's what I'm going to do right here. Wait for some to come around. Break that down a little bit. Let's come straight to the second line of the entra on those saws. Probably don't tongue every one of those saws. We're back to this video that I have called How to Play Two Notes in a Row on a Bansuri. Two of the same notes. Sa, 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 sa. We've got a lot of saws there. Use gummick. Right here I'm just using that komoga. Sa, ga, sa, ga, sa, ga, sa, ga, sa, ga, sa. All right, I'm not thinking ga in my head. I'm just thinking sa, 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 sa. But I'm using the note above it. I could use the note below it, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, like that. But what I was doing was from above, from the komo ga. And I usually do that. Pick one or the other. I say pick the komo ga first. And then, second half of line 2 of the mantra, a little bit tricky is written. You can make it simple. Instead of ma ni da sa ni ga sa, just go ma ni da sa ni ga sa. Do 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 do. Ma ni da sa ni ga sa. Instead of having that as a half beat, just slide it to the left. Ma ni da sa ni ga sa. No ornaments needed, meaned perhaps. Really at the end though, sa, I like to fade out from a high sa down to that da. Do the waves. Sa, oh. You don't have to. Okay, as written though, it's the other way I like to play it, and it's the first way that I played it when I did it. Ma mani da dasa ni ni ga sa. All right, how can we do that? As written here, this on the beat that's currently a space, just fill it in with the same note that comes before it. So ma mani da. All right, ma mani da dasa ni ni ga sa. So dasa ni ga sa. Ma mani da dasa ni ga sa. Two notes in a row again. Now we're going to use our tongue. Ma mani da, because there's 2 miles in a row. Ma mani da dasa ni ga sa. Alright, too confusing for you? Just play it the simple way. Ma ni da sa ni ga sa. Here we go. Here's another good ornament for you. First line of the mantra, Nida ma gama gasa. Right? Nida ma gama gasa. Gama ni dani dama. Nida ma gama gasa. That's right here. Nida ma gama gasa. And then gama ni dani dama. Symmetrical. I'm putting a morki on that very first sa of the second line. A morki of sa is gasani sa. All kumbal notes, notes from the scale. Gasani sa. Gasani sa. So gama dani gasani sa. moving on. Now, of course, you can improvise on those lines. All right, especially after that high saw, come up to that high saw and then hold it if you want, improvise. In the high notes generally, because we're in the entra. Entra is all about the high notes. All right, if you have questions, send them in. Thanks for being here. We are moving on to the last two lines of the entra. All right, so here we are, Dani sa ma 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 ma. All right, so again, two notes in a row, the same notes in a row, ma 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 ma. And I think here I actually tongued these three, the final three mas. If I didn't do that, I'd probably come from below and go gama gama gama. All right, break it with the ga below, but I think usually I probably tongue it, and that may just be because high notes are hard to play. They come out easier when you use your tongue. At Kali, Gama Saga. I know that just now I did a Magama Saga. Alright, Dani sa ma to start the line, ni da sa ni ga sa, and then slide up to the ma. Alright, it would be hard to play a komol da ma gummick. Alright, if you had to cross finger from a high komol da. So, I'm just going to go ni da sa ni ga sa, and then slide up with meaned to that high ma, and then tongue, 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 those three mas. Magama Saga Niga Sani to end the line. Alright, now that time I did gummick to break the three mas, and I didn't even play the komol ga. I just went like that real fast and kind of used a shid ga, but quickly so that you can't hear the shid ga. It happens too fast. We'll say an imperceptible shid ga, just giving it the shape so it sounds like gummick, so it's got the feel of the gummick, but not the note of a shid ga coming out. But usually I just tongue the three mas. And now the final line. Saga high, saga low. If you want, you can tongue that saw, the low saw, just to help you make the big jump down. And then we end it with a ton. Memorize this ton, great ton. But if you need to make up your own ton or want to make up your own ton, make up your own ton. 8-beat ton. Connected down to a saw at the end of the line, most likely. Because usually at the end of an entra, the last line of the entra brings us back to the gut. Alright, so when we finish this, we go directly into the gut, first line of the ostai. Now, here it is again. How do we play two notes in a row on a Bansuri? Two of the same notes. Nini dama dani saga sani dama gasanisa. Nini. How are we going to play Nini real fast? We're not going to tongue it. Okay? We're going to slap that komol da. Just to break the two knees. Alright, Nini dama. Nini dama. Real fast. Nini. It's just slap the da, just break the two knees. Ni dama. We can also go da ni dama. Put an ornament, a da, on the first knee and the second knee. Da ni dama. Da ni dama. Sounds even better. And then when we come to the gut, we've got to tongue that first saw, because we ended the ton with a saw, and we're starting the gut with a saw, 2 notes in a row. Alright, so that concludes our composition. And let me see if there's questions. We're getting towards the end of this, so if you have a question, now is definitely the time to send it in. And thanks for sticking around. You should have a thorough Malkauns knowledge now, or at least a fundamental knowledge of Malkauns. Certainly plenty more to it, but not too many rules in Malkauns. Follow the scale, set your tambour to ma, play a lot of mas, it's our vadi, and have fun. Nighttime raga, late night raga. Alright, if you have a question, now's the time to send it in. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm just going to play this. I'm going to go ahead and improvise, and let's see. If you go to soundcloud.com/Kerry Kriger, soundcloud.com/Kerry Kriger, I have a recording of me playing this. Go check that out. And once again, if you're not a Bansuri Bliss member and you actually want to play Bansuri really well, and you currently do not feel like you're improving rapidly with your Bansuri, or even if you already play Bansuri well and you just want to get even better or learn new ragas, then the number one thing that I can recommend to you is to become a Bansuri Bliss member. I say that because I've put at least 1,000 hours into creating the Bansuri Bliss memberships, probably a lot more. Creating tons of lessons that you can access 24/7, 365, and giving a weekly lesson every single week. Not like this. This is something that happens like every few months, who knows. Not very often. But for Bansuri Bliss members, I'm giving a lesson, a full lesson every single week. I can hear you play, I can give feedback. You will get better if you become a Bansuri Bliss member. Alright, the question is how to control the lower saga after the high saga. Well, I think once you get to the saw, you're fine, but you just need to make that big drop. So whenever we play high on a Bansuri, we have to blow hard compared to when we're blowing low notes. We blow softly, so you need a big change in the force of your breath coming from your flute. Since I'm at that ga and I'm used to playing gummicks, I actually come up to that ma, saga, dani saga, masaga. Is it a high ma I'm hitting as a gummick or a middle ma? Not too sure, but maybe just lifting your finger and doing that will help. Maybe it'll confuse you, I'm not sure. But I also said before, if you want to tongue that ga, tongue the sa, the low sa, you can. So that you come at it with the proper force. But I think just practice it. You've been playing it for like 10 minutes, so practice it every day or every night, nighttime raga, and you should be able to figure it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this composition and jam on it. All right, thanks for being here, everybody. I am Bansuri Bliss Founder Dr. Kerry Kriger. I've been teaching and playing raag Malkauns, inviting you to become a Bansuri Bliss member. If you're not, go on over to bansuribliss.com, take your Bansuri playing to another level, and learn raag Malkauns in even greater detail, as well as a lot of other ragas. That's it for today. Namaste.